basketballers taking commercial flight, the women basketballers taking commercial flight like that, because she had to come in with a bodyguard. She had to start flying with her bodyguard. Now, again, like I said, there are many WNBA players that are doing great things that don't have bodyguard, but Caitlin Clark does. And so people started complaining. And now the WNBA is going to allow teams to fly chartered airlines.
Sounds about white.
You know, I didn't want to call it, but there's a color privilege somewhere. So really, that's the biggest news now, that the WNBA is going to allow teams, at least teams that can afford it, it's not compulsion, but teams to start taking chartered flights. I'm just like, last year they punished people for this crime. This privilege. This privilege. All right. So we have a lot of stories in the locker room, more stories in the locker room. But before we do anything, Zibby, tell us, how can we be a part of the locker room today?
Well, all you need to do is send us a message via WhatsApp 0809 4440981. You can tweet at Smooth981. And we're streaming live in the studio. You can actually see Tega.
You can see some parts of Tega.
Some parts of Tega. Some parts of Tega are actually sitting down, which doesn't ever happen.
No,
so
the NBA playoffs, so sometimes you have to rest. All right. And then you can also rate my intro. Rate my intro. Zibby doesn't want to tell me that
please don't take my job. I don't like this.
I don't like. No, I can't take your job. You that will be coming here by what time in the morning? When I'm still snoring. But take your job. All right, but tell us how we can be a part of the locker room.
You can catch the live stream on our YouTube channel, Smooth981. You can find it on there. Post a comment, let us know your thoughts, and share the live stream as well. And of course, you can also send messages via WhatsApp 0809 4440981.
All right. Can we go through the headlines? This is why I don't want your job.
Nigeria's Idowu receives championship belt 3 weeks after winning boxing title. Edwards leads Wolves as Nick Brunson matches Jordan. PSG coach Luis Enrique proud despite unfair Champions League exit. Unfair. Kane must deliver against Madrid, Bayern coach Tuchel. Man United rot not good enough, but Ten Hag vows to fight on. Swiatek feeling the squeeze from crowded Masters calendar. Villa have a mountain to climb, McGinn says. Napoli believed to end on a high note despite Udinese draw.
All right. So these are all the things that we're going to talk about today. But let's go to the top, because that was the interesting one. So just take that boxing story first.
All right. Forced by the Universal Boxing Organization, Ghana boxing authorities have reluctantly released the UBO Light Heavyweight Championship belt to the president of the Nigerian Boxing Board of Control, Dr. Rafiu Ladipo. The belt is now in the hands of the rightful owner, Rashid Idowu, the new UBO Light Heavyweight Champion, Africa.
All right, so let me give you the background story. So there was a boxing fight taking place, and the Nigerian boxer knocked out the Ghanaian boxer. This is not he beat him and then they counted points. You know, sometimes they can count points and you see the points that they count. You'll be like, how many? I didn't see any punch landing. How did we get to 100 for him? But this one, he knocked him out.
Clean, clear.
Clean. Everybody saw it, including the people that watched hours after. They now gave the fight to the Ghanaian guy.
Wait.
So you can imagine that it is taking. You can imagine that they're reluctantly releasing the belt. Can you imagine? Understand why they're? Imagine that it has taken this long for them to even say, okay, we agree. The belt shouldn't have been us.
Wait, I'm confused. How did this happen?
It's beyond me, but this is involving Nigeria and Ghana. Anything is possible. No, I often say it, Nigerians and Ghanaians are kind of the same. I don't care that there are countries in between these two countries. It's like when a Nigerian looks into the mirror, it's a Ghanaian that appears there. Because trust me, some of the things I see that happen in Nigeria that I'm like, what? Ghanaians are doing it. And it's commonplace to them too. But yeah. They had to fight them to give back this.
There has to be some sort of penalty or punishment for this.
There should be, but we haven't heard that one. We are just, first of all, we are grateful to have the belt back. We just want to thank everybody that has integrity to return the belt, even if it took you 3 weeks to grow that integrity. And it took you 3 weeks and an order from the up top to grow that integrity. But yeah, reluctantly.
This is so weird.
This is not Africa. It's Ghana, Nigeria. There's a reason why they're always fighting. They are the same people. It's like when I was growing up, when I would complain about my mom to my dad would be like, does she know that that's who she is? That's Ghana, Nigeria, the same people.
Wow. Okay. Anthony Edwards led the way again as the Minnesota Timberwolves dominated defending NBA champions, the Denver Nuggets, to take a 2-0 lead in the Western Conference semifinals.
I'm telling you, this was supposed to be one of the best matchups in the series. It's turning out to be a beatdown. Denver Nuggets have no answer. Not one for Minnesota Timberwolves. And yes, I know Anthony Davis is the one that, is sweeping all the credits because yes, he's dominant on the team. You can when he does you can see his defense, his great defense is impactful, sorry. His offense is great. So it's always easier to recognize the superstar of the team. But trust me, what cost Denver Nuggets that game on the day was the defense of every single member of the team. It wasn't just Anthony Edwards. Like they reduced Nikola Jokic to 16 points in a game. That's how they defended. If he looked like he was going to get the ball, they were on him. If he imagined that he was going to make a pass, they were on him. Anything he thought of doing, they thought about it first and they blocked it. The defense was solid. Let's not even talk about Jamal Murray because Jamal Murray has been struggling with an injury, and because he's been struggling with an injury, he hasn't been effective eating his leg, and so it affects the jump and it affects the way he tries to make baskets. We understand that. So first of all, he was wounded. Then he's coming against a Minnesota Timberwolves that are physical. So he's already short-handed. And then he meets a Minnesota Timberwolves that are not just physical, but are determined to knock out the champions. He stood no chance.
Oh.
And then he was fined in game 2 $100,000 because he threw his hit pad on court. Yeah, he threw the hit pad. It landed on court. 100K fine. They don't even play in the NBA. They didn't even say 10K fine. They didn't say 50. 100K.
So who's paying this now? Him or the club?
Him. Are they the ones that told him to throw the hit pad? Why should the team pay for you? My friend, pay your fine yourself, especially after you lost. And so they lost their 2 games at home, which means they've lost their home court advantage. And now game 3 and game 4 will be in Minnesota. You didn't beat Minnesota in Denver, where they'd be struggling with the altitude where you are comfortable in. You now want to go and beat them at home. Good luck and God bless.
PSG coach Luis Enrique insisted he's proud of his side despite what he called an unfair defeat at the hand of Borussia Dortmund in their Champions League semi-final.
I would say this. I don't know what he means by unfair. I know a lot of people say they're lucky. So Borussia Dortmund squared up against PSG. And like I said earlier, the thing about Borussia Dortmund is that they are a team. And they play like that. And yes, they have 1 or 2 brilliant players. You know that Adeyemi will take the ball and run at most defenders. He's quick, and he's not just quick, but he's quick and he's small. So he's very close to the ground. It's hard for you to get the ball off him. And if you want to hold on to any part of his body, it's easy for them to call a foul because he's tiny. So they have some exciting players. They have Jadon Sancho, who left Manchester United because part of it was his attitude. But he's also good. He's skillful. He can get the ball in the box. He can also trouble a lot of defenders, get some goals in the back of the net. They have brands. So they have a few players, and in defense, they have Matt Hummels with the experience, Shuttlestok with some great defensive positioning, especially. So they have 1 or 2 brilliant players, but their beauty is in the strength of their teamwork. PSG, on the other hand, over the years have been thinking that they can throw money at a problem. That if they throw money and get a few players, a few, exciting and talented players, that they'll probably be able to get the UEFA Champions League. And time again, it has failed. This season was the closest they came to looking like they were going to get the Champions League. And that's because they sold most of their superstars, but they still have superstars there and they are not playing exactly as a team. And so when it came down to this day, everybody was saying, okay, we're going to see PSG are going to be playing at home. And so we're going to see Mbappe try to, show the world who he is. But with Dortmund, they're saying we're going to see how the Dortmund team will stand up to PSG. Do you see the difference now? The
Right.
team versus the world-class talent. And every time I always say, your success is going to really come down to the team around you.
That is true.
You can be as talented as anything. If you don't have a good team around you, you will fail. Take it to the bank. You will have to have a good team. Oh, but Cristiano Ronaldo succeeded. Have you seen Cristiano Ronaldo's team? You just see Cristiano Ronaldo, the face of the team.
Right.
You haven't seen Cristiano Ronaldo's marketing and advertising. And have you seen his team? He has a team. Lionel Messi has a team. Neymar has a team.
Wow.
The people that put their brothers as their team are the people that are suffering. So the best teams usually wins. And that's what happened to Borussia Dortmund. And PSG will say, oh, we hit the woodwork several times. I will tell you this. The goalpost is in Parc des Princes, which is PSG's home ground. And PSG continued hitting the bar, hitting the post, but they could not hit the target. It is one of two things. You are nervous or you are incompetent. If a carpenter comes to your house and he's not hitting the frame, what would you say?
You don't know your job.
Oh. So why are we making excuses for PSG and calling them unlucky? You don't know your job. That's why you're hitting bar now. How can you hit? I think they hit the post about 4 or 5 times yesterday.
Whoa.
Yeah. And the goal post is what? It's not like it's like a hockey post that is smaller. It's incompetence. Unlucky is once or twice.
Wow.
When you're consistently hitting it, especially then it's you. It's not the post. So yes, he's saying it's unfair that they dumped out. No, your guys couldn't hit the target. They were shooting blanks. It's all I can say.
Tega, have mercy. You're still listening to The Locker Room on Smooth 98.1. Stay with us. We'll continue the conversation on the other side.
Okay, so when we come back, there's a lot of messages on YouTube saying they are lucky. You don't know how to hit target, no, Nim.
Straight blanks all over the place.
Do you understand? The goalpost is in your house.
What kind of unfairness? Man, y'all ain't doing right. You're doing wrong. You're doing right. Okay.
I am so sleepy. Ow! I can't sit here. Oh. You know, my legs are physically short. Annie. Oh, well. Annie's back here.
What does Annie do for you?
Let's see. I was worried when I did not see you.
My dear.
My Annie. Beautiful Annie. Wonderful Annie. Sweet Tim. Hey.
I can see you dancing.
Oh no, come on. Why did you put this thing here now? It wasn't me.
Check out how you're dancing. We need to tell Alex to record the screen and bring that dance out. All right, we're going on. It's The Locker Room on Smooth 98.1. It's Tega and Zibby. If you're on the live stream, you might have seen Tega do a very happy dance.
It wasn't me.
The video says otherwise, Tega.
All right, so before we rush into other stories, let's take some messages from YouTube. Let's start with Abiodun Obesheson, who says,
yay! Tega's in the building, and he actually puts a building to remind us. Yes. Okay. Padre Pio says, let's start with United, Tega. Good to see how they don't disappoint. They lose when they're needed to lose. And what loss? 4 goals. Charles Chigoze says, returning the belt to the rightful winner isn't enough. Hope those heavily biased officials were fined and suspended. I agree. They should be.
Yep. And then this message from Padre Pio says, PSG. How many times did I call you?
3 times.
Enrique should be quiet. His team is a star-studded disgrace. As for Mbappe, I'll get back to his case eventually. I'm with you.
Mbappe is going to want to walk away now.
No. Mbappe is definitely walking away. But the thing is, this is the humility he requires. He was always feeling like, I'm the next big thing. I'm the big boy. I'm feeling around the world, especially after he won the World Cup. So now he couldn't bring the trophy to PSG. And Real Madrid have won Champions League without him. They've won it before he was born. They've won it when he was born. They've won it while he was playing. And so he cannot come and say, I'm the one that brought the title to champion.
Oh.
You understand? He's not going to be coming to Real Madrid as the star.
Right.
He's going to be coming as somebody that is trying to make a living for himself. He has been humble. All right,
wow.
we'll take your messages from WhatsApp when we take the next story.
Okay. Bayern Munich coach Thomas Tuchel called on Harry Kane to fire the German Giants past Real Madrid and into the Champions League final while revealing the striker's passion for coffee on Tuesday.
Yeah, so again, it's a press conference. Anything can literally come out. You can just be asking about somebody's pre-match routine and you hear that he has a superstition of wearing dirty socks. You're like, we didn't need to know that. But it is Thomas Tuchel is looking for a winner. So first leg 2-2, and even though Bayern Munich played brilliantly, everybody thinks it's advantage Real Madrid, including myself. Now, people also thought it was advantage PSG until Dortmund showed them what they could do. In fact, when the final 8 draws were made, everybody was like, can we get Borussia Dortmund? Because they appear to be the weakest link. It turns out they're the one team that's in the final. All the Man City, the Arsenal, that were outliers and favorites to come in, they're at home, twiddling their thumbs. Borussia Dortmund is coming to Wembley to play in the final. And so in this head-to-head, some people would say because of the reputation of Carlo Ancelotti, the team that Real Madrid is, and their history in the UEFA Champions League, that maybe it is advantage Real Madrid, and especially the fact that they are playing at home, that maybe it is advantage Real Madrid. But don't rule Bayern Munich out, and don't rule Thomas Tuchel out, because Thomas Tuchel is that kind of guy that can carry a horrible team and just go and win it. And then, because sometimes it's like Thomas Tuchel is that guy. It's like when you have lost all hope in him, then he does something spectacular. And now you are stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Should I fire the guy that just won me my biggest trophy, or should I?
Chelsea have done it.
Chelsea have done it before, yeah. So he's that kind of guy. So you just look at it and say it's advantage Real Madrid because of all these things I've mentioned. And then Thomas Tuchel will just Thomas Tuchel you and get to the final, and it will be an all-German final. So yes, I understand what he means. He also needs Harry Kane to step up, because if they're going to be playing against Real Madrid, every chance they get, he cannot afford another PSG in front of goal. He needs the people that can put the ball in the back of the net. He doesn't want you to test the bar. Stop hurting the bar. The bar didn't do anything to you.
Hurt the net.
Hurt the net. Tear the net. That's what we want to see. We'll tie it back. And so he needs Harry Kane to, once those chances fall to his feet, to take advantage of them, bury them. Because if you don't take your chances against Real Madrid, you will come to the press conference, and like Luis Enrique, you will say it was unfair.
All right, now Eric Ten Hag took responsibility for Manchester United's miserable showing in a 4-0 thrashing by Crystal Palace on Monday. But he said he's still, the right man to turn the club fortunes or misfortunes.
I have never seen this kind of person. I don't know. This kind, his confidence needs to be bottled and sold, because how do you concede so many goals? I think they've conceded 78 or 70. So they've conceded 70 something goals so far. Because I know that Onana passed 50 at some point.
Oh,
yes.
Onana.
And there were stats that I reviewed this week that showed that yes, he's passed 50 goals conceded because he's also faced this amount of shots. And everybody was like, how can one goalkeeper, how many salaries are they paying him to be facing over 600 shots?
Wow.
So it's a lot. But yeah, so these are the problems. Eric Ten Hag coming out to say, there's some points you say this coach should maybe have shame and resign. You can't shame the shameless. Ten Hag has said that he's not the one at fault.
Wow.
That he's a man for the job, despite the fact that they lost to Crystal Palace 4-0. Now, let me tell you, I understand that they had some injury problems, especially in their centre-back pairing. But he put Casemiro in centre-back in an English team in an English Premier League match. I love Casemiro. I respect him. I think he's been unfairly misused and therefore unfairly abused in Manchester United. but there is no part of me that will play Casemiro in centre back. There's not one part of me, because those people will use him to run. And Casemiro, when Casemiro was young, he wasn't fast. He's older now. Where do you expect him to get the speed from? They embarrassed him on the other day. And if I haven't seen Casemiro in another club or on another team, I wouldn't have known that that was a brilliant footballer at some point in his career. So yes, Erik Ten Hag is right to take some of the problems. If his lineup was a problem, so it exposed his team, to the unfair pace of the brilliant runs of them Eze, Olise, that were on the pitch. Those are young boys that young London boys that like to play flashy football. And so to dribble somebody is what they're looking forward to every day in training. And then you gave them Casemiro and Stones. They're like, let's dribble this our brother. That's what they need. So yes, Erik Ten Hag's selection was poor. His tactics was poor, as it was the case. And why he still thinks he's a man of the job is beyond me.
Wow. Okay. Let's do you want to do messages or do we go on to another story?
Let's do another story.
Okay. Now, after winning a grueling final in Madrid just 3 days ago, world number one, Iga Swiatek, now has to quickly adjust to the clay in Rome for the Italian Open, which started yesterday.
Oh, I don't know why she's so. Every year we hear these things. I don't know why these players do as if it's news. You see the calendar the year before. You know that it's going to be back to back. And understand what it can be to the body. But everybody knows after Madrid is Rome. Then a slight break, then Roland Garros. Why are you complaining? You can afford to not go. I know she'll say, but I have points to defend. So it's your choice. Defend your points or don't complain. The calendar has been set since it didn't start today. So I'm sorry for them, but it is what it is. And so every year they come and complain about how the Masters calendar is too choked up. Even logistically, we need to prepare the same way. It happens every year, so you to prepare for it. Why are you complaining? It's like me complaining that it's raining in May. What did I expect? It's supposed to rain in May in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
I should be worried if it's not raining in May. So at this point in time, I understand what she means. But you have to just get ready and prepare for it. And this week is going to be grueling in the WTA because she won last week and everybody wants to get back their pound of flesh. Rybakina has a title to defend, so she's going to come back. She made a few mistakes in Madrid, which could have gotten her to the final and maybe even beaten Iga Swiatek. So Rybakina is there wanting to defend her title. Sabalenka is there wanting to take a piece, and Coco Gauff is on the wing saying, you know what, I won the US Open, I can do this on clay. So like I said, WTA is the wild, wild west. Completely different kettle of fish.
All right, next story. Aston Villa face a tough task to turn around their Europa Conference League semi-final after losing the home leg against Olympiacos 4-2 on Thursday. Captain John McGinn says, well, they are far from finished.
I like the fact he says they're far from finished, and he says they have a mountain to climb. But I just want him to know that it's Mount Everest you're about to climb. 4-2. Look, Unai Emery has experience, when it comes to Europa. Unai Emery is Mr. Europa. But the way they gave out that first leg, they went 2 goals down. They came back and tied the game at 2-2 and then lost 4-2. Who does that? That is not a tactical problem. That's a problem of discipline. And most in general, discipline from the players on the pitch. They got carried away that they were able to pull even. And so it's going to be a tough one for them. I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm just thinking that at this point it's improbable. But this is football. And literally anything can happen.
Okay.
Should we?
Okay, we can do a few.
Let's do a few messages.
All right.
Let's start from let's do WhatsApp first before we come to YouTube. Mohammed says,
Tega, it's definitely advantage Madrid because all you have mentioned matter in the UCL, especially the number of veterans on the team of Madrid. I want Tuchel to beat Madrid to get revenge on Madrid. When the last meeting with Chelsea, he lost narrowly because he made bad decisions when he had won the match.
Okay, so I'm with you, Mohammed. If Thomas Tuchel, so it will just make my scripts for the Champions League perfect. Let's see Chukudi.
Chukudi says, when PSG were training for the match, they were using the crossbars for Tega practice. Wow, Chukudi, show mercy. PSG were charged to raise the bar this time, and they took quite literally.
I cannot. No, the way they hit the bar yesterday. How are you aiming for the bar?
Wow.
All right. Let's see this message.
Bar says, still waiting for when Tega will roast my club. What's your club?
I don't roast people on Wednesday. There's midweek service.
Let's look at Taya's message. I think it's Taya's birthday today. Yay, happy birthday. Taya says happy birthday tomorrow. Well, so say
happy birthday, Taya.
We love you.
I'm telling you, we absolutely love you. We hope you have a wonderful day. We hope you have an awesome day. Do you like cake? Hope some people will send you cake. Zibby, send him cake.
Oh my, I was
Zibby bakes. Zibby, I want to put it out there that Zibby bakes.
She cooks more than she bakes, to be honest.
You cook and you bake. So send him jollof or send him cake.
And I was going to say that, Taya, send your account details to Tega, but she beat me to it.
Taya.
Okay.
Send him cake.
Taya says, Tega chilling in the corner. I saw that match. That boxer was knocked out cold. Out cold.
Yep, they knocked him.
Whoa. Ten Hag's a good manager. He just needs to improve on tactics, coaching, man management, defense.
Yeah, I'm a good singer. I just need to work on my tone, voice, lyrics.
Taya, even on your birthday, you're sharing vowels and talent management. Thank God Onana went to AFCON. Otherwise, he would have shipped in 100 goals by now. I want to see him next season. Onana is 81 goals and counting. PSG is not by money. Best in hitting the bar. Fufu boys stay winning. Harry Kane should forget it. He'll need the star power of Harry Potter.
Oh no, Damn. This is so on your birthday.
Have mercy.
So Pastor Dapo
says he's not a pastor.
Oh, sorry.
Dapo says, also known as Positive Soccer Gladiators PSG, have tried their ultimate best, but not good enough to sideline Borussia Dortmund, also known as Better Dynamics. So their coach should kindly hold his peace. All right, so let's take some. No, we don't have time. No need for that story. Let's just take more messages. I have pressed spoil. Don't worry, it is back. Just click here and we have it. Okay. Do we? We kind of. Okay. Abiodun says, was so delighted that Dembele and PSG lost yesterday, coming after he disgraced his former paymaster Barcelona. Yes, I agree with you. Looking forward to seeing an all-German final of the Champions League in England. That is so interesting. Yes, that's so interesting. Charles Chidozie says, Ten Hag's tactics were poor. It was non-existent. 2 years coaching a team and the squad lacks identity. Injuries are no excuse. Padre Pio says, today's matches, part of me would like to see Tuchel in the final. Tega, what have you done? It's me that pressed. I told you I pressed spoil. And so I'm sorry, Padre. I pressed spoil, so we can't see your message. And let's go to WhatsApp. Okay. So let's take this one from Oniru. AY from Oniru. Yes. Okay. Where is it? After Dakbo. Down. I just want to wish Luis Enrique a very happy birthday as he turns a year older today. Thanks to Dortmund for doing the Lord's work last night, and congratulations to Sancho. And Mr. T says, good morning, Smooth FM crew. Oh yeah, that's an older message. All right. On that note, we have to sign out because Tega went to touch something she was not supposed to touch. So we can't take all your messages. And this is why you can't take over my job. This is why I can't take over your job. Yeah. So we want to thank you for tuning in to Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to The Locker Room. Thank you for streaming on YouTube. Thank you for sending your messages to WhatsApp and YouTube. And thank you, Zibby, for holding down the fort because you are irreplaceable. On that note, have a great week. Oh my goodness, I don't want to spoil. Control spoil. Let me leave the studio before I spoil everything. All right, see ya.